my name is Eric and I'm doing another one of my photography vlogs called One Body, One Lens, One Roll, One Day. I am here at Hinckley Lake. Yes, there's water in this lake this time. I've been here a couple times before. They had dredged it, they had cleaned it up. Water's back. It looks like a normal lake again. All right, today's camera is a Canon EOS RT. You know what, I'm going to change that. Be right back. All right, so today's film is some Kodak Ektar 25 that I don't know the condition of. I managed to grab this, so there is Ektar 25. They don't, well, one, I don't know the condition, but it was very popular in the 90s and early 2000s, so I'm assuming at least 20 years. So I'm going to slow it down from ISO 25 rated down to ISO 6, 2 stops. Hopefully that'll cover enough for the age. Now, I also don't know the condition this was kept in. I got part of a batch of other films, and most of those are handling the 2-stop variation just fine. I got it with some Agfa Portra 160, which instead of shooting at 160, I'm shooting at ISO 50, which is almost 2 stops. And this, I'm getting some decent results. So I'm doing the same thing with this one because I'm assuming from the same batch we're doing good. All right, so I've got my camera loaded up, is set for ISO 6. This is my Pentax LX. The reason why I switched to this camera as opposed to the Canon is because of the speed of the lens. The lens I have for the Canon is a 100 to 300 f4.5.6, and with ISO rated 6 film, it would have been very hard for me to hand hold it, and I didn't bring my other tripod. Pentax has the classic 50mm SMC 1.4, so now I can shoot it at somewhere in that 2.8 to 1.4 range. You get a decent enough shutter speed that I can hand hold this thing. All right, I'm going to get some shots. I'll be right back. All right, so after a few shots, I'm realizing I'm going to be shooting this thing at 1.4, 1.8, f2, 2.8. That'll keep me at about a 60th of a second of a shutter speed to be able to handhold this thing. So let's see what I can get at those shallow depth of field, those fast shutter speeds, or those fast aperture to get me to a decent shutter speed. All right, let me see what I can get. So Ektar 25 was some of the finest grain film that was ever manufactured. Had two little benefits to it. One, because it was such a fine grain, you could blow up to poster prints and not see any of that grain, or in digital terminology, any of that noise, any of those like speckles that make up your image. High-speed black and white, like Delta 3200 or T-Max 3200, you wanted that. You wanted that gritty, grainy, kind of a cool for street photography and stuff like that. This was ultra fine. This was designed so you can make huge enlargements. The other thing is that, as far as I remember reading, this is the only film, and someone might want to correct me on it if it is not true, but this is the only film that Kodak made for the consumer market, so there might be some NASA stuff, whatever, that had zero reciprocity failure. And what reciprocity is when you do the really long exposures, let's say longer than 10 seconds, in some cases 100 seconds, or you get into minutes and hours, film became less reactive to the light that it was receiving. It just took extra time to get it to that effect that you wanted. Where, let's say, a normal 100 speed film, you know, technically after 10 seconds you should probably add another half stop to it. Or the 400 speed film, maybe you know, after about 100 seconds you needed to again add another half stop to it, or a stop or two, depending upon how long your exposure was. This was rated for hours without any reciprocity failure. So this was a really, really cool film, and I did have some macro stuff blown up to 20 by 30 posters size, and not a hint of grain. It was very fine, very detailed. I took some photos of some little figurines, blew it up so people could see the detail behind it, and they were amazed. They thought it was a big piece. It was like, no, it's this little guy right here. All right, I am on shot 7 of 24. Let me see what else I can get. Be right back. Now, I was asked once in one of the vlog episodes, in the messages and stuff like that, why don't I use a camera strap? It's a practical reason, not a personal choice. The practical reason is if I have a strap, and I tend to use Black Rapids crossbody strap, single point connection, and it goes around, you know, nice crossbody. Peak Design makes some cool crossbites, 2-point connection. ProMaster has some 1-point connections. There's a couple other brands that are out there. There's the neoprene double straps and stuff like that. One, it gets in my way when I have all this other gear, because I'm the only person that's shooting with this. So my camera bag, my tripod, the video camera, whatever, it just tangles things up a little bit more, so I don't put it on when I go do the vlog episodes. Now, when I go out with a single camera and I'm going out and I'm, you know, shooting a wedding, shooting some headshots, shooting some senior photos, yes, I have the strap on. It does provide me with a you know, nice support mechanism. And if I drop a film camera, okay, you know, yes, my fault. Most of the film cameras I've shot are nothing super spectacular on how much they cost, except for maybe this LX. But the Canon RT, some of the Minoltas, they're you know, 40, 50, maybe $80 camera. So not a terrible thing if I accidentally break my own camera. But I do have an extra grip, you know, on the cameras that I really, really like, so that I don't drop them. But just when I'm out doing these videos, I don't put the strap on, again, just because the strap of the bag or the backpack, whatever I've got with me, does tend to get in the way, and it's very confining. All right, I am on shot 15 of 24. I got a couple more shots left. Let me see what I can get. So as you can see, they really did a nice job. I got like 2 or 3 shots left. Actually, it says I'm on 24. Maybe I got 1 or 2. I am using my my winder in single shot, and it looks like I might get that extra shot, which is good. All right, and that's the end. So remember, with these old manual cameras, there's a release button underneath. I'm going to push and hold it down. That releases one of the spindles back here, so we can go in a backwards direction. And typically, as many shots as you just took, is as many rewinds as it's going to take. So this is a roll of 24, somewhere right around there. And then my roll of film is rewound. All right, today we were at Hinckley Lake with all the water back in the lake. Awesome. Looks like a cool place. I've been here a couple times, even before doing this vlog. Today's camera was the one that I decided to go with, was the Pentax LX with a 50mm 1.4 standard SMC-M lens, not the A variant. That's okay. And some expired Ektar, Kodak Ektar 25 film, which with other film I got in the same batch from eBay, it's about 20 years out of date, so I did slow it down to ISO 6. The first camera I was going to use was Canon EOS RT with a 100 to 300. The lens was a little too slow, and I would have had to been on a tripod all the time, and I did not bring my second tripod. All right, feel free to give the images a thumbs up if you like them. Feel free to comment on your experience with expired film or expired Kodak Ektar films. Feel free to subscribe as new episodes come out about every Friday and every Saturday. New episodes try to come out, you know, some bonus episodes will also come out. Check them out. Feel free to comment, subscribe. Thanks for watching. See you next episode.